You ever go hiking, like up on a mountain or something like that? SparkleDart, by the way. You ever go hiking or something up on a mountain like that, bigger than a hill, but smaller than like Kilimanjaro, which rises like Olympus above the Serengeti. Gosh, I don't really have any good examples. Like Pikes Peak, maybe. I don't really know how tall Pikes Peak is, but it can't be that big. It can't be the biggest mountain in the world. Of course, it's not, because the biggest mountain in the world is Mount Everest. And of course, people in Nepal go up there all the time with the Sherpas, but they still end up freezing to death and leaving the bodies, frozen corpses, up on the mountain for people to use as like waypoints as like scaling the mountain. This mountain summit. And when they do that, it just creates a very interesting dynamic between past and present, because the bodies up there, they don't decompose, they freeze right away, and they freeze in a position where whereby their remains get frozen, and it's not the cold necessarily that does them in. It's more the hypothermia sets in, and then they run out of oxygen and their bodies just kind of start shutting down. You know, that's what happens when you start scaling a mountain, is there's less oxygen, less atmosphere up north. That's why when you're making something like when you're boiling water, they've got different directions for if you're above a certain altitude, and generally that would be for people who live in the Rocky Mountains, Appalachian areas, but it could be for anybody who lives in a different country whereby tall mountains are mandatory. They're all over the place. Now, Nepal is a country that lies pretty much entirely in the Himalayas. It's a country that really just doesn't have any like low points, if you know what I mean. Not to say that it's like a mountainous country. It could, I don't really know. Nepal might actually be kind of flat, but because most of Nepal lies up on the Himalayas, it's got a high altitude and a lot of, like, it doesn't have any air. Now, mountains, if you know anything about geology, are created from tectonic plates colliding into one another and rising up all of their material as they make their big old collisions. And that's the way that mountains are created, I believe. So if I'm wrong, be sure to correct me. Oh yeah, this is an interesting situation. Okay, well. Gotcha. Okay. I got the hang of it now. We can rest assured I got the hang of this situation, and I won't let it make a fool out of me. Except it kind of just did there, didn't it? Please, I just want to do this without getting a game over. You know what I mean? I don't want to have to lose like I just did. Fuck it, fuck! Horse shit, fuck it, fuck! I'm pissed off. Okay, so I was talking about shitty-ass mountains. If you ever go for a hike, just know that there are certain precautions you have to take. You have to be very wary of the area in which you're hiking, because wild animals live all over the place. There's even been reports of bees up on top of Mount Everest. Believe it or not, bees will get you anywhere. Bees, okay, if there are three things that are certain in life, it's death and taxes and bees. And that is how we're going to change that phrase. You'll always die at the end of your life. You'll always pay taxes for the whole life. And you'll always have bees wherever you go in life. And that's, you know what? I think that that's actually a very good mantra to live by. That's a very good way to go about looking at things, if you know what I mean. Now, I'm not saying bees are bad, because bees are actually good. It's the wasps that are the bad ones. They will sting you for no reason. They will sting you and cause you great pain, and if you allow that to happen, then you are only contributing to the problem and not trying to prevent it in any way. Ugh, burp. Burp. Wasps. Okay, so wasps need to be put in their place. You know, you gotta get a wasp swatter. A swasper. No, that doesn't work. Sorry, I apologize for making such a horrible pun such as that one. That wasn't even, like, kind of close to being clever. You know, I at least try to maintain the illusion that I know what I'm talking about, but I think right there I just shattered that illusion completely. And if I did, then I apologize. Okay, just one more time. Just one more time. Like that Daft Punk song. With the anime. The shitty-ass anime. Fuck it, man. Fuck it. Ugh, I'm starting to get pissed off. Is there a one-man down here? Nope. Oh, those sneaky bastards, those sneaky Nintendo bastards. Oh, by the way, as I'm killing myself, by the way, as of this recording, Satoru Iwata passed away this past weekend. I don't know when this will go up exactly, but that was that weekend, like 2 days ago was when that was announced. Is that Satoru Iwata, the president of Nintendo of America and Japan and Europe, passed away, and Australia passed away. So, rest in peace, Mr. Satoru Iwata. Thank you for all the great video games that you gave us, like F-Zero X and Star Fox Adventures. I really appreciate all the time that you spent giving us video games, and just know that we all miss you. We'll all miss you, buddy. You were a good man, you were an honest man, and you were I guess a kind of a funny-looking man. But that's neither here nor there. That's my own opinion. That's not the opinion of everybody. I just thought you kind of looked strange. You look like Dwight Schrute as a Japanese person. So let it show for the record that Dwight Schrute as a Japanese person would look like Satoru Iwata. That's all I'm gonna say. That's all I'm gonna say. So thank you for listening to that. That was my own opinion, and I'm going to try my darndest to I'm going to move past that because that's a sad subject. I don't want to talk about that for too long. I was going to talk about something else, but I don't remember what. I guess I can talk about The Office. Did you like The Office? I liked The Office a lot. It was my favorite TV show on NBC, or I guess just on television for the years that it was on TV between 2006 and 2013, where the last season ended with Dwight Schrute getting married to the receptionist, the accountant Angelina Jolie. It was hot. It was a hot episode, but I liked it a lot. It made me sad. What made me sad though was when Steve Carell left the show to go pursue his own careers and endeavors, and after that point the show kind of stagnated because actually I noticed there were a lot of subtle jokes in the show that Michael was telling that you'd actually never really noticed because it wasn't super obvious, and that's the subtlety that the show started to lack in later seasons. It was an episode where Michael gets back from Jamaica or whatever Caribbean country, and he wants to have a luau in honor of his vacation or whatever it was exactly, I don't recall, but he wants to have a luau, which is, of course, a Hawaiian-themed celebration, but he went to a Caribbean country, two places that are completely different, even though they have similar climates and atmospheres, but the tourists that go there don't really understand the difference. They just know that it's like an island surrounded by ocean all over the place. Oh! Have you found the red and green switches? No, I haven't. You cheeky-ass game. Don't try to make fun of me like that. That's really rude. I haven't found them because I'm too much of an invalid to know where to look for them. About fucking time, you know what I'm saying? So anyways, I thought that show really started to stagnate after season 7, where Steve Carell left the show to focus on his own endeavors, and it lacked subtlety. My least favorite episode of that show would have to be Dwight Christmas, which is, or German Christmas, the one where Dwight hosts Christmas, and it's themed after his weird, like, German traditions or whatever. And the reason why I don't like that episode, it might have been a funny episode for any other TV show, but the reason why I don't like that episode specifically for The Office is because it lacks the subtlety of the later seasons. It's basically just, haha, Dwight has a funny religion. Isn't it funny how different he is from what you and I believe in? It's so funny. There was one good joke in that episode, though, where they talk about how Kris Kringle's assistant was dressed in blackface, and it was actually Nathan who was he was walking towards the door of the Dunder Mifflin building, and Dwight texts him and tells him to turn around and go home, so he does, and that was the joke, is that he was in blackface, but everybody else wanted him to be in, like, normal human face, because blackface is super offensive these days. I honestly think that blackface is only offensive if you let it be offensive. I see white people dressed in whiteface all the time, and I'm not offended by that because I know that they're just joking around. I know that they're just pretending to be something that they're not for like the sake of a joke or something. You know, it's not like they're trying to set out to offend me or anybody that I know, because they would, you know, that's just rude to upset people that you've never met before for your own personal gain. You think it's funny? I don't know what it is that you think, but if you think it's funny, then I guess that's up to you. That's your decision. Nice. Okay, so I guess I'm done talking about The Office. I can't think of anything else to say about it other than that I thought it went to shit after season 7. I did like the episode where they were trying to find a new Michael Scott, and I know that originally Bob Odenkirk was a very funny comedian. He auditioned for the role of Michael Scott in the show, but was he lost that part to Steve Carell. Now I think Bob Odenkirk would have been a really good fit for Michael Scott, and so what they did in season 9 was they hired Odenkirk to play a Michael Scott lookalike character for a job that Pamela was going to go apply at, and he had all the same mannerisms. He had it all down to a T. I assume they just said, okay, do what you did at the audition, do the Michael Scott thing, and he's like, well, I will do that because I am Bob Odenkirk and I'm a very funny man, and you can count on me to do anything you want me to do because I understand comedy and I understand acting, and I also played Saul Goodman in Breaking Bad and the spin-off of Breaking Bad called Better Call Saul. So go watch that on AMC. It's a good show starring Bob Odenkirk as Saul Goodman. I haven't watched it myself yet. Maybe it's funny, I don't know, but if it's funny, then it gets my seal of approval. So thank you for watching. I'm SparkleDart. Goodbye.